Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talon Talk, your one and only Talon Academy podcast. We're here to recap a very exciting week 1 and preview our week 2 matchups here. This week with me, he's back from vacation, back from being sick, all fully recovered and ready to go. His name is Lucky. What's up, man?
Well, I'll put you there. You're kind of wrong. I'm sick, but I'm pushing through it. I'm fighting through it. I've been gone for so long. 2 weeks, man.
He's so dedicated. To the
man.
podcast. He's here while he's sick.
About time you put some
anyway,
work
that's
in,
the main
slacker.
thing.
Oh, man.
I'm good.
Also with us this week, the man that is the most reliable here, Callum. What's up, man?
What world are we in where I'm the most reliable? Jesus.
I think
I don't think it's just Lusky that's sick here, Chloe. Are you alright, mate?
I don't know.
No,
Oh,
at least I can do maths. Oh!
Hey, the maths is right. The reading was wrong. So,
There it is.
switch back to you.
Alright. All that being said, we'll get into that a little bit later.
I love you, man.
You better.
Oh, man. Our special guest this week is the one, the only, Rob. What's up, man?
Hi, how you doing? I'm one of the guests that actually won their game this week. It's good to be here.
Oh, man.
Oh.
All right.
Part of my soul is just gone.
We're starting it off early here.
What's happened
We
to
got a
Rob?
lot
He's
to go.
been savage, man. Like, not only with the memes, but I feel like the victory's getting to his head now.
We'll
It was
see.
only a 3-2, but we gotta milk it.
It's still early here. It's week 1. All right. Well, let's dive into it here. We're gonna recap week 1. We're gonna release our week 2 power rankings, discuss those a little bit, maybe some things that stand out there, and then we're going to preview the week 2 matchups and make our predictions for that. So that being said, we're gonna jump into the most interesting game of the week. It's undisputable here. It's the game between Darkmount and Guyana's Gate.
Oh my god, what a nail biter, dude.
You blink and you miss
Honestly,
it.
I couldn't breathe. Like, honestly, the entire game, I held my breath through it.
I mean, probably game of the year, honestly.
Oh, definitely. It was
Yeah,
over in
yeah.
a flash. Like, it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like the game was over in like 30 seconds. It was so weird. No.
Like, forget Overwatch League. We needed that game, man. Oh my god.
Oh boy. Anyway, all things aside here, yes, Darkmount won 4-0 due to a forfeit. Not much to recap here. So let's
Except the stellar words that were typed in on the results.
let's jump into an actual game here. One that actually had some implications here. We're gonna start off with SDG versus Republic Rebels. Lucky, I hear you got
Okay,
something to say
right.
about this one.
I don't have a whole lot. I'm not gonna lie. It's something I've noticed, and it's something we've kind of always said, probably towards the end of the last season as well. And it's really evident in this season too, starting off with obviously with week 1. Obviously we know with the trades that Rebels have done, there are serious pickups. Obviously a lot of players that play a lot of time together, but they're coming up against one of the weakest sides, I think, within the league. Now, obviously, you'd nearly put GG and SDG in the same bracket, but there's a difference. And I think GG is better than SDG. And the main reason why I'm saying this is SDG, it's their ability to switch. I think,
Wow.
like, if you notice throughout the whole games, every single map, every single play, everything was the same comp over and over and over again. And they were just getting absolutely shattered and absolutely demolished.
Yeah.
Like, if you go onto the game, anyone here that's listening to this podcast right now, and this is for you SDG as well, I'm not trying to rip into you, it's something that you don't focus on. And I think if you focus on it, you can do absolutely amazing. You've literally only get 3 kills in 2 maps.
Wow. Yeah.
And like, I don't have a lot on it, but from what I've seen, there's like SDG, you've got like Rocket, you're absolutely really good Symmetra, but a Symmetra isn't going to carry your game.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to pick up that, we can switch up our plays, we'll play at a distance comp, next thing the Symmetra is countered. It's
Yeah.
you, the ability to switch is SDG's biggest weakness.
I
And
think-
Rebels just played right into it and demolished them.
I think one thing I even forgot to mention here is we didn't really say the result yet here. In case you didn't know already, Republic Rebels beat SDG 4-0. So
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned that.
It was pretty.
I was getting there.
Should probably get used to hearing that scoreline. Just a heads up.
Yeah, especially this.
Hey,
season.
if they switch stuff up, it can get interesting.
Yeah.
But until they do, it's going to be, unfortunately, it is going to be a 4-0 situation.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see more of that. I mean, anything else anybody wants to say about this match before we move on?
I think definitely in like the 2-2-2 roll-up meta, we've seen a lot of different comps and different maps. Like before, it was goats every map.
Mm-hmm.
So like SDG does really well on some maps where Sim is good, and then like they do really well. But then you get to like these maps where Sim isn't good, like these really open maps where they don't get forced into chokes, and those are the maps that are just like there wasn't any competition.
Yeah.
Like Paris was like a bright point because Symmetra actually works on Paris quite well. After that, it was just bang gone.
Yeah,
So I think they really do need to diversify. Or
yeah, I
they're
definitely
gonna
thought
suffer.
this. I thought this would definitely be a closer match than what it was than a 4-0, but it seemed to be the week of 4-0s though. so I don't know.
But saying that as well, like obviously I've just said there, now I know it sounds obviously. Like when I look at it myself from the outside of myself, I can see that like what I said was a little bit harsh. But obviously, like last season, we look at it. Where did SDG finish? But remember that little spike they had in the middle where they went up to second place?
Yeah, they were pretty high. They were pretty high.
I remember watching that.
Dude, bring that back.
Yeah. Get back to your roots.
You never know. Like.
It's almost like people have worked SDG out, and now they're just like, we know how to beat this, and they counter it. Exactly. And in the game of like countering in Overwatch, like it's sort of like it's their move. The ball's in their court. It's not that they're a bad team. They're just not. They're failing to take action, really. And it's kind of sad because they're good. Like you said, they were second at one point. Go do that again. Preferably before we face you guys, or afterwards even.
Yes, agreed there. Yeah. So SVG, we want to see more out of you. Bring it on. All right, let's move into our next match here. We have Callum's gonna like this one. We have TLM versus Shimada Samurais.
Yes. So I've made some notes on this one.
Yeah. Okay.
So I've made a lot of notes. So hopefully I don't go over the limit. I'm sure you can help me over not going over the limit, Callum. Yeah, it was 3-1/4.
Oh man, I just got that.
Well,
I just got it as well.
We won Junga Town, but we got disqualified.
Anyway,
so technically, it was 2-2, but also technically a 4-0.
But there was some stuff we can take out of this series. It was very close. It was a 4-0, but it was close and big. I think TLM is a team that last week it was discussed, and everyone's like, yeah, they're not a great team. Like, the highest they were rated in the power rankings were 8th, lowest was 10th. And Shimada came in 6th and 6th, so dead in the middle of the pack, right? Should be Shimada Samurai that wins. But I think Fat D, their main tank, was playing really well, as well as Bigfoot. Bigfoot's Doomfist. That was a huge shining point. So I think we probably should be rating TLM a bit higher, but I kind of want to see them face a more established opponent. I know Shimada is new, trying to build cohesion, so like it's a win, but I'm not sure how much it says is a win.
I mean, we're definitely going to see it this week. This week, they play Zen's Garden, so
yeah, that's definitely going to be a good test.
And Zen's Garden, we'll talk about more in the preview, but Zen's Garden is definitely looking for more of like a revenge, almost a revenge match here.
Yeah,
so
and I think
it'll be very interesting to see that.
And like Shimada's, like I think they need some more cohesion, and I think the best example of this, if you go back and watch the last team fight of Oasis, so both teams have like the Lucio and Ryan comps, and the opposing team's Ryan on TLM beats in to engage, and then I'm not sure what happens on Shimada's side, but they grab in and decide to pin into the support ult when they could have been like kited the engagement backwards and then gone back in. So I think there just needs to be some like more decisive shot calling, because this was 1-1 cough. Last fight, whoever wins this fight wins. So I think it was sort of a chaotic, no one knew what to do situation, everyone panicked. So I think there is hope, but they need some cooler comms.
Yeah, exactly. Callum, I'll give you give you an opportunity here to say something about this, if you would like. Nope.
I just need to learn how to read. That's
Uh,
all
I will
I was
say-
like,
one thing
Um,
that came out of this from the TLM side, I will say their point of view here, so everything is equal. If TLM were allowed to play over the SR cap, maybe it would have been closer, and maybe
Oh no, it
you know
wouldn't.
we.
wow.
I guess we might not know
Like,
now, but I'll just say just to put their point of view out there. So,
I
we're
do
not
want to
getting
give a
biased
shout
here.
out to Delirium. He was nice enough to give me make a little spreadsheet for me that auto calculates SRs. So
Wait, can I have that?
I want to say thank you for that. No, you can't. You didn't have to go through the embarrassment of having to forfeit 4-0 when you won 2 of the maps.
All right.
I'm not
Well,
saying
let's-
anything.
I
I'm
wanna
staying quiet.
like-
I'm staying
I want to
quiet.
give
man.
shout out to Fatty. He was really good.
was
The
playing insane.
Doomfist on Oasis was
Bigfoot.
annoying to deal with. I think that was
Bigfoot played really
Bigfoot.
well. Yeah.
But also, I want to say, uh, just because something's meta doesn't mean you have to play it. And a little bit because I hate the comp. Fuck you for playing double shield.
That's.
Uh,
I
think-
think
I
we
think
saw
that's fair.
we saw that a lot around the league in the first
Mm.
week for sure. Yeah, let's not dwell on this too much here.
sad
Let's,
face. I'll just go in the corner and cry now.
Don't worry, you'll have a chance to redeem yourself. It's only week 1. Let's go on to Genjutsu versus Glass in Foot. And Lucky, what do you want to say about this one?
Well, first, I want to give a massive, massive shout out to whoever streamed that game in 360p. It was the most difficult game I've ever watched of Overwatch. I couldn't make out anything. Half of Ryan looked like he was on the high ground, and half of him looked like he was on the low ground.
You could play Guess Who with the characters. Is it a Moira or a Bastion?
I was like, that's the future of Overwatch.
It's like a game of Where's Wally?
Guys, it's a new
You,
game
know, you
mode.
realize whoever streamed that now is never going to stream again.
It's a good game
Because
of
we
Where's
just
Wally.
embarrassed him.
Like, where's
Oh, no.
Genjutsu? They're in the spawn. Found them.
But no, anyway, look, it was really difficult to watch, so I don't have any specifics. So to be fair, it's the same again, and we said this in the first podcast. We said it about Genjutsu. We said simply that they came into season 2 with high expectations, team that was going to do absolutely great. We thought like it would be up there going for playoffs. It did obviously make playoffs, but ever since after the playoffs, I feel like their whole team is kind of just gave up. Like, if any of you watch, I know obviously watch is very difficult. If any of you try and at least watch Paris and watch the way Genjutsu try to defend. Now, obviously, I know getting full hold is very difficult, but Genjutsu being in the state they are with the team not looking so great and literally looks like it's half-assed, I'm not going to lie, coming up against Glass and Foot, which we all know is, well, how many name changes now? Uwu, no banana, Glass and Foot. They're probably one of the best teams in the league. Obviously, 2 years in a row of making the final and not winning anything, not a dig. I'm just saying they're one of the bigger teams. So
Yeah.
when you're coming up against these, you need to show up.
Yeah,
Like what you got? Like,
Yeah.
well, to be fair, you got like two players from Zen Gardens. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'd have
Wait,
to-
Yeah, they got
from Zen's?
Chaos and Serenity, didn't they?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's Glass and Foot.
Yeah,
Yes,
so no,
that's
Glass and
not-
Foot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jinjitsu. Okay, I'm just
No.
paper brain.
Like they're a team of winners. Like
Yeah.
you have to show up against them. You don't. If you half-arse it, you're going to get destroyed, and that's what happened. 4-0 clean sweep, game over.
Yeah, like you're saying, I think this is more of Glass and Foot showing how good they are rather than Genjutsu playing poorly. I think we're gonna see over the next couple of weeks and see Glass and Foot rise up these power rankings a little bit, and I'd be surprised if they don't, finish the season in the like 1 or 2 spot in their division.
Oh, like they made great sign. Like they picked up Serenity. We highly talked about her every single podcast. They picked up probably the biggest May 1 trick, which May is so powerful right now, and it's not a
It's
dig or
very good
chaos.
right now.
May is so powerful along with Symmetra, Reaper, all those type of players. Like this team right now, I think you could nearly put it as the top dogs.
Wow.
As much as they aren't, it doesn't show it in the rankings because we're unsure, because obviously it's a new team, literally, with the new pickups. They're going to be up there, 100%.
Yeah, they're definitely rising right now, and we'll dig into that a little bit during our power rankings. But yeah, they're definitely one of
Just
the teams that are
also
rising.
shout out, just quickly, because this guy literally begged me to give him a shout out on the podcast. There's a certain ginger guy. I'm trying to remember his name now.
Oh, him. Yeah.
He asked me to big him up, so if we could just get a photo of him for the YouTube channel and just exhume it for him, I think it'll make him really happy. And then we can say we bigged him up on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too because he said he played Mercy for me when I was playing Fire if I shouted him out. So this is that bit. There you go.
Also, the other main tank as well. They've got 2 really strong. Like I've heard a lot of good things about the second main tank player they had before that random guy we were just on about.
Yeah.
That's Jake Foley, isn't it?
No, wait.
Is it not? Or am I wrong?
Wait, hold on. No, Ginger's not even on Glass and Foot. What am I about?
All right.
Yeah, I'm talking about. But I can't speak. This is what happens when you record nearly 10:30 at night after.
Are you sure you're not the sick one, Callum? Like, real talk.
I might be, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh boy.
Like, I've just ruined my shot at being the most reliable.
And now,
Yeah, well, no, to be
In
fair,
one
last
podcast.
you're like, oh, let me look at rosters. Oh, let me look at.
Yeah, do you
When
know what
were
the
you
worst
ever
part is? I'm
reliable?
looking at the rosters right now as I'm saying this, and I still mess. This is just proving I can't read.
And
You
now
got a shout out.
now that the podcast is nearly off the rails at this point, so let's just try to keep moving on here.
I say,
Yeah.
do not edit this out. Just give them like to laugh at
Oh,
me
boy.
at this
Yeah, I
point.
mean, why not? You got laughed at enough this week. Why not just add it on here?
To be fair,
Yeah.
it's a podcast. We all can't be serious. We gotta have a laugh in between as well.
Of course.
Do you want to just skip to back to Republic Rebels so I can give you a correct?
Oh my god.
Nah, okay.
We'll talk about
Okay,
them
let's
again.
move on.
in the
Let's
preview.
move on.
Yes.
Sorry, Ginger, I tried.
Let's move on here to our next match. It's Aftermath versus Zen's Garden. Who wants to open this one up?
Oh yeah, I've looked at this one. So this one is like the opposite end of the spectrum. So before Shimada versus TLM was like the lower ends of the standings, Zen's versus Aftermath is like the Battle of the Titans in like Division 1. Like Zen's was rated highest 1, lowest 1 in the power rankings, like top dog team. Aftermath's highest was 3, lowest was 4. So this is like highly regarded. And I think the biggest thing here is the meta. Like Icebrand Sigma and Slick on Sim was not respected. Like if you go and watch Paris and you watch Slick just like get like tier 3 beam melting through them along with Icebrand Sigma, it was ridiculous. And like Zen tried to match the meta quite a lot and it wouldn't really work. Like no offense to Zen, but Loki looked a bit lost on Sim because he normally plays like Junkrat. People weren't on their comfort picks. And I think they tried to stick with it a bit too long. And I don't think that was really working out for them. And they sort of switched over a little bit too late. But this was definitely the Icebrand and Slick show for formats.
Yeah. I mean, that first map, Oasis, was definitely such a close map. I mean, it was so tight.
Yeah, the
in that
scoreline
map.
is not respective of it. Like,
Yeah.
4-0 is not what this should be. This should be
Yeah,
close.
I agree. I mean, I feel like as the maps went on, it got less and less competitive. I think the first map was the most competitive, and the second map was the most competitive. It's,
Yeah, it's sort of like Zen's looked a bit lost by the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, not to be mean to them, I think they need to find what they need to do.
I just don't think they expected like to get 3-4-0'd like that, and that can
No,
that can
I don't think
I
definitely
was
anyone did.
shocked.
that cannot.
Like, they were 1-1, top of the league.
Yeah.
Like, no one put them lower than 1 last week
Exactly.
in your podcast. Like, I was shocked, and I woke up like, wait, what?
Yes.
I just want to say I believed in you completely, Cody. I mean,
All you
I
guys-
never doubted you
All
for
you
a
guys
second.
predicted Zen Garden last week.
I don't think it's doubting Aftermath. I think it's just putting
Yeah,
your faith in Sense Garden.
Yeah.
I just,
it
like-
wasn't. It wasn't that. Yeah, I completely agree. It wasn't the fact that Aftermath are shit or whatever. It's just when
Yeah.
you look at the performance that Zen have constantly been giving us, you think that they would deliver that continuous performance. As you said, I think they just looked completely lost.
Yeah.
I don't think it should affect it too much though in terms of power rankings. Like Aftermath is still good. I think like next week if like they drop some maps to like you said they're up against TLM, if they start looking shaky there, then I think you can start
Yeah.
getting into talks if they should be lower down, but I don't think this should be too impactful
Well,
on
we will
power
see
rankings.
how those come out in a little bit here. I think you might be disappointed.
Oh,
I'm gonna be honest. I think Sens might honestly drop one or two maps to TLM just because TLM playstyle. They like to send people to the enemy's people's spawn. So when they have a
you
bloody
should see my
Sigma
match
shield-
predictions. Oh.
When they have a Sigma shield to just save that person on a return, it's ridiculous. It was so hard to punish.
Yeah.
Joyce.
Yeah. So, I don't even know if we've said it yet, but this was obviously 4-0 Aftermath. So let's move on to our next one here. It's the last match. It's probably the closest one of the week here.
It's not a 4-0, boys.
No, it's not a 4-0. We
No,
said
these people didn't get the memo.
best for last.
I'm sorry, okay?
I didn't even say the match yet. It's Eclipsed versus Valk's Descent. This ended up being 3-2 in way of Eclipsed. They got the win there. Well, we have two guys here from each team. We have
This is where I can just
Rob
trigger
from
both
Eclipsed
of them
and
at the
Lucky
same
from...
time.
What was
Don't
that?
do that.
Alright, so now it's this Pepega Brain's turn to talk about a match.
Here we go.
Oasis, to be fair, was a very close map. It felt quite slow paced, to be honest. Like when you compare it to other matches, it's like you could tell both teams are trying to take their time. Obviously, Lolly, Bastion, what else do you expect? Not Dick, but ultimately it was Eclipse that came out on top through some clutch plays, and the Farah got some nice effectiveness. Paris, obviously Bastion. I'm not gonna have a Dick because I ran Bastion on against TLM, so Falcons won that. It was actually a pretty close game, and honestly, that map can just be summed up in a clutch factor of Ruben pressing triangle.
Oof.
Yeah, that was a problem that we had.
You gotta shut down Ruben, Rob.
Mm.
Why didn't you have this in your game plan? Shut
Nobody's
down
bringing
Ruben.
up that I was on Symmetra? What?
I forgot you were in the game. Okay, you changed your name. It's not my fault.
Literally, Lolly was like, yeah, you're playing Hitscan. Play Symmetra. I'm like, oh god, okay. Alright, go on, sorry. Go on. Sorry.
All right, Hollywood again. This is where Fawkes was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep moving this card. Like they started slow, only capping in overtime, but then they got a second point. Then it just went to the final fight, and it was just I don't know how to describe it, to be honest. My brain's just failing me again. So I'm just gonna move on to Junkertown and
Don't talk
Rob,
about
do you-
Junkertown defense. No. So
Rob?
right. So the
Rob?
plan was to hold them in the spawn. We just forgot to stop the payload.
Touch point.
Yeah,
It's at like only 50% of the game.
it was an oversight. Okay, we're moving on.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that, man. It's like Rob,
All
his
right.
face palm. Can you remember to do the same thing next week? Thanks.
We'll touch the payload
and-
next time.
No, you don't need to, honestly.
So-
Nepal, obviously fifth map, the only fifth map series of the week. Nepal, teams just slug it out left and right. They fought for it, and ultimately Eclipse come out on top.
Yeah, and we just talked about how Aftermath and Zens are, going to be the big matchup of the week, and I mean, looking back on it now, Eclipsed is going to be a team that rises up in the power rankings now, and Valks is a team that's high up in the rankings, and this ended up being that match that was like a battle of two great teams here, so it was great
Shout
to
out to
watch.
Xenon for thinking I was going to get 4-0'd. This one's for you, Xenon. The more tier C team, how dare you?
I love
Get
it how he's
fucked.
calling out Xenon, and I'm not getting called out for TLM.
Oh, I already roasted you like 20 minutes ago. It's fine.
Yeah, I think you've got enough roasting over the course of this week. It really doesn't need to be hashed out again.
Bruh, just hashtag it all. I honestly don't mind. It's just from now on, I'm just gonna call it. If every win they get, I'll just call them. So they've gone from threat level 0 to threat level 1, and by the end of the season, maybe I'll call them threat level 12, so they can beat TLM.
Maybe.
But they're gonna have to win games for that.
We will see how they do this week against Zen's Garden, and we will preview that game
that's interesting.
coming up here. So that kind of recaps all of week one. I think as a whole, there is a lot of, like you said, 4-0 matches. We only had one close match this week, but it was still an exciting week. A few upsets there, so it was fun.
More
see.
interesting than anything.
Yeah, and it's fun to be back into it.
I missed it.
After the off season, we're back in the grind here and getting results and seeing the standings. It's fun. So we do it. So let's move on here. Next, we're gonna go over our power rankings. So if you didn't listen last week, our power rankings are just a consensus between myself, Callum, and Lucky. We rank all the teams based on the strongest to weakest, 1 to 12, and I combine all those to get our consensus rankings. All right, so yeah, let's jump into our power rankings a little bit here. We'll start at the top, and this is probably going to be a surprise to some people. All three of us had the same team ranked number 1. That team is Aftermath at number 1. If we move down here, at number 2, we also got a new team here. A team that beat Valk's Ascent and seems to be rising. That team's Eclipsed.
Wait, what? We're not that good.
At 3, the defending champion here, Zen's Garden, dropped to number 3 after losing this week. Then we have Glass and Foot at 4, another riser. We have Valk's Descent at 5, Republic Rebels at 6, TLM at 7, Shimada Samurais at 8, Genjutsu at 9, Dark Mount at 10, SDG dropped to 11, and GG rounded up the rear at 12. Anything you guys want to say about that? What do you think?
Why am I at number 2? Like, I'm honored. Thank you.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what it's you. I had you at number 3. I'm gonna be honest.
I think I had you pretty high. I had you guys pretty high.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've made my
same,
own
same.
personal power rankings. I put myself at 4th, so I'm confused.
Wait, is that Lusky putting you at 5 then?
Okay, Lusky. Oh
not
wow,
sure.
lose to my
I need
team.
to check. I need to check that.
How have you got
yeah,
2?
I put you at 5.
That's respectable to us.
I don't know, but look, hey, you're at number 2. There you go. So
That
no,
is,
you're a really good. You're a really good team,
Yeah,
and I don't
solid
think you
team.
quite notice it. Like we struggled hard against you, and I think if you stay the way you're going, you're definitely like Houdini is your leader on the
He's
ground,
the- yeah.
and the white one is the leader in the air. Both
That's
of
what
them
we tried
constant.
to do.
It's
Yeah.
so difficult to focus.
Yeah, honestly,
That's what we tried to do.
Eclipse has been one of the teams I've been talking up for a few weeks here, so I've always had you guys ranked high. It's been the other guys that have you ranked a little low. I think you guys can
Well,
do
that's
big things.
because I didn't
here, so-
realize. Like, I forgot like what they had, and it's like when you get a fresh reminder of a fucking rocket in your face,
Yeah.
you forget to realize.
So there is the power rankings. I will post them a little bit after the podcast is posted for everybody to see. All right, let's move on to our next section here. Let's start previewing next week's games. We got a few good matchups here. Some I'm excited to see. Actually, a few I'm excited to see. So let's jump right into it here. We'll make some predictions. We'll talk about the games a little bit and go from there. So first match, we're going to start off the top here. Probably one of the biggest matchups of the week. It's going to be Aftermath versus Valk's Descent. What do you
No
guys want to
tension
say
at all.
about this here? Yeah.
This one's a really important one for working out where teams are in like the
Oh,
power
yeah.
rankings and stuff. Like if
I'm gonna be
VD
honest.
comes out and does really well, then like we like don't write them out. If Aftermath stomps them, like Aftermath just claims number one, like solidly, like no one's questioning you.
Yeah,
So I think this like the scoreline's very important in this.
this is definitely going to be a big matchup to like decide what the division's going to look like at the end of the season too.
It's gonna be interesting for me as well to sort of gain a clearer picture of like the division I'm in and how
Yeah.
scared I should be of you and Slick.
Is it ironic that all four like people on the podcast are all in the same division, I believe? Or are you in Division 2, Lusky?
No, I'm in Division 1.
Yeah, we're on.
Oh,
Division
we're all
one.
in Division 1.
Look at that.
Yeah.
The superior division.
I'm not sure how that happened.
But no, obviously, look, Cloudy, best of luck in the game, obviously.
Yes.
But at the same point, it's going to be a seriously close game, and I completely agree. It is going to decide how this league is going to turn out, because usually it's always the week 2 to week 4 is like your biggest weeks.
Mhm.
Because week 1 you can afford to drop a map, or you can afford to lose a series or whatever.
Mhm.
It wouldn't affect you that much. Like for instance, we lost 3-2, but yet we're midway in the table because of the results, how it worked. So it's not that bad. But it's when the next 2 games are going to set out the big picture for the league.
Yep, and we're gonna
And how
start.
And I
seeing-
think this one is just, if both teams show up, we've got an absolutely amazing game ahead of us. But it's easily could be a stomping as well. But on what side, we don't know. It just simply just comes down to the night, I suppose.
Exactly. That's how close of a match this is gonna be. Let's go through some of our predictions here. Callum, what do you think about this one? Who you got?
Prediction for the Aftermath game?
Correct.
Look, I'm sorry, Lusky, I doubted Cloudy once, and I'm not going to make that mistake twice. I'm saying 3-1 Aftermath.
What about you, Lucky? Who you got?
Well, I've got 2 predictions. I've got what I want and my heart. So what I want is a 3-1 or just a win. My heart just wants a win. But I
Yeah.
feel like if Aftermath show what they showed against Zen's Gardens, which was a big surprise, I think it will be an Aftermath win. But as I said, it's going to be a seriously close game. And I don't know which result I want to go with, but obviously I'm going to stay true to my team, and I'm going to obviously say a 3-1 victory for Valk.
Gotcha. Yeah, can't argue with that. Rob, who you got here?
Well, I still think it's gonna be a close game, but I've gone 4-0 Aftermath just
Wow.
purely on the fact that I think Aftermath's DPS just outshines BD's
Wow.
in terms of flexibility in this current meta. Like in this map pool, I think Slick and like just Sigma and the Symmetra, like against what they run against us, I think they're just going to get absolutely smoked.
I'm
Wow.
sorry, but if we're going to go that far as well, I think Aftermath outclasses in the support line as well. Everyone knows that's Valk's weakness.
Hey, Lucky, who's that guy in the Aftermath support line you like so much?
No. He played DPS last game, so he's no longer a support.
What? No. I said he has this guy on Aftermath that he likes. One of the support
Oh,
players.
yeah. Slick.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just trying to throw me under the bus, Cloudy.
Oh my god, sorry. I'm so sorry. And we haven't mentioned him yet. I'm
Yeah.
actually disappointed in us.
Me too.
Clean poopy!
There
Clean
it is.
poopy, man.
Can't
I love
forget
you.
him.
I don't know you.
Absolute legend.
Okay, I want to change it to a 4-0 just for clean poopy.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob.
I see no,
Hashtag Clean Poopy
like...
MVP.
Alright, next game.
Oh, I didn't get my prediction in there. Damn, Callum. No,
I wonder
got
what it could be.
I of course have Aftermath on the top, but I got a 3-2. Like we've been saying this whole time, I think it's being pretty close. But yeah, so let's move on to the next game here. Next game I have on the list is going to be Zen's Garden versus TLM. What do you guys think?
31 cents.
I'll
We have
second
Zen's
that.
winning this. Wait, what? You guys want? Oh, I've gone completely off the rails here. Then I've got a 3-2 for TLM.
Wow, that would be a statement. That would be
I
a
simply
statement.
think Zen, as we said against Aftermath, they looked confused, and I think this map they're going to go hungry.
I mean,
they're
it
gonna
depends
hunt.
on like how confused.
I can tell you
They just were all over the
exactly
place.
how Sens do this.
How's that?
TLM goes double shield again. Get Ryan on fire, Loki on junk, double shield break, play around the angles, surround and conquer, blow shit
Why
up,
are you playing
work
Farah
both main tank.
Callum, please do that against me next week, please.
Do you know what? If I had actually I do have two power mains actually. If I had a
You've no
jungler
idea.
main, maybe.
Oh man, as I was saying, I think this is a huge revenge game for Zen's Garden. I think they're gonna get back on track and show us why they're one of the top teams, and I can't see them realistically losing to TLM. But so that I got
It
3-1.
still helps shape up the picture. Yeah, it helps shape up the picture of Division 1 nicely, I think. All these matches are going to say a lot about where everyone's sort of standing.
Yeah, exactly. And going in like week 3, week 4, we're gonna start seeing the divisions kind of even out a little bit, and maybe how we thought they were gonna be.
The
Alright, so
predictions won't be as wacky.
Yeah, let's go in the next ones here. We got Shimada versus Eclipsed. Big one.
Oh,
here.
this one's the easiest one.
Big
4-0 easy claps. Only joking, Rob. Don't worry.
Oh, 4-0 Eclipse? Oh, okay. Going against your own team.
Laughs in King J Rex.
Wow.
All right, who's starting with this one? Can I, or we
Yeah,
gonna
go
let
ahead,
the guest
Callum.
go first?
Go ahead, Callum.
All right. All honestly, I feel like this is gonna be a close map. I'm gonna go 3-2 with SS. I feel like we've worked a lot of things out. Like first map, I said this in the last time. I'm gonna be experimenting a lot with different lineups, see who does what, see what merges well. I think we figured like lineups out a little bit more now. I think my biggest worry is probably King J Rex.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, as I've said, I think this is a pretty strong Eclipsed lineup here.
yeah.
Let's
Maybe.
let.
But I feel like we've definitely got
Experimenting.
something to prove. I mean, I have something to work out to read SRs and do the calculations for me now. So get fucked there, Rob. It ain't happening again.
Damn it.
Right.
Nice point, that one.
Good, Rob. Let's hear your side of this.
Okay, so all I'm going to say is that I have my side winning 3-1, and that Callum put me at 2 in his power rankings, yet somehow thinks he's going to win. That's all I'm saying about the statement.
I
You
don't
walked
know.
yourself into that one, bud.
It's like, yeah, this man's the second best team, but yeah, I'll beat him. All right.
Yeah, easy claps, man. It's like
Sometimes
I told
the
you,
heart
it was like
speaks louder.
yeah. It's like I'm not gonna say it's gonna be like super easy, but we will beat you. It's like we will fight you in the Paris baguettes. We'll fight you on the Junkertown cart because we actually touched it, Rob.
Okay.
We'll fight you, the treetops of Oasis. Oh, fuck, they don't have many trees on Oasis. That's shit. We're a British team. We never surrender. Fuck it.
There it is. So other than Callum, the other 3 of us have Eclipsed winning this match.
Well, we all know I'm the smartest one here. So.
Oof.
Oh,
I'm gonna hold back here.
I'm not
I'm the
saying
most
anything. I'm not saying
reliable.
anything.
I'm the smartest, best looking.
Oh man,
Yeah,
you
all
really
that's up,
just
you know.
I got it
go
all,
for
man.
it, huh? Oh man, let's just ignore whatever Callum just said and keep going here.
Yep.
We're not gonna roast it too much here. Let's go to the
Never
next
surrender,
game.
lads. Never surrender.
The next match here, we actually all predicted the same exact scoreline and the same exact team. It's Glass and Foot versus SDG, and every single one of us predicted Glass and Foot coming out with a 4-0 victory. So, we gotta explain a little bit about that. Why do we think Glass and Foot is gonna demand this win over SDG? I think we talked about it a little bit, but let's dive into it a little bit here.
Well, first off, most consistent team in the league against potentially one of the weaker sides.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably going to be lopsided for most of this battle here. Um, we kind of already talked about it when we were talking about the recap and stuff. I don't have too much else to say here, unless somebody else has
Yeah,
some
it's
to
just
add.
a hard one. Like you go to like Glass and Foot, and I think of like loads of different players. I think, yeah, that's going to cause a problem. That's going to cause a problem. That's going to problem. I go to STG and I think they'll play Symmetra. And that's
It's
it.
literally.
And like,
Yeah.
there's nothing that like scares you. Like when Callum chatted about our match, he's like, "I'm worried about King J-Rex. I'm worried about a Farron, this guy. I'm worried about Houdini slamming my team." You
I'm
need
actually not
multiplier.
worried about White One.
Oh, you're not? Oh, you should be. But okay, carrying
And
on.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, time
Should
I
be.
played against a White One, um, I had near 20 sleeps. I feel like, hold on, trying to remember because I don't want to inflate it too much, but it was definitely double digits just on White One's Farah. So just a heads up there, Rob. I'll give you that sneaky
I-
bit of information right now.
Oh, fair,
I
thank
just
you.
hope you like horrors because she's going to terrify you.
Bring
Yeah.
it, bring it, man. Just bring it. Bring your A game. I want a good game of Overwatch, and
Okay.
I
well,
want you guys to try hard as
Basketball
much as you
ball.
can.
Like you can try and
So
get the
when we
ball in the
beat you, it
basket.
makes it all better.
All right. Well, we kind of
Right, we got sidetracked a little bit.
A little bit, a
Um,
little bit.
So the next match we have on our list here is going to be a battle of the lower tier teams here. We have Guyana Gates versus Genjutsu. This could potentially be a close match, but we all predicted the same here as well. We all have Genjutsu winning this match, whether it be 3-1 or 4-0. We kind of all see Genjutsu winning, and the power rankings kind of show that. Guyana Gates at the bottom. I don't see them. Maybe they put up a fight, but I don't see them winning the match. What do you guys think here?
There's a lack of
I'm
flexibility on this side. Like they're not coordinated. They don't have many players. So like, say you got into map one and like they absolutely stomp you with some sort of comp, right? You're gonna go, how do I counter that? You come into map two and they can't pick around you, and then you just win. It's
Yeah.
just they're not coordinated. It feels like they've gone to a random six stack of comp that they've made and decided to play the meta.
That is
Yeah.
exactly it. Literally. Because, like, even if you look back at last season, how many 4-0s were there or how many 4v4s were there? Because simply GG just couldn't get a team together. And it's like, I feel sorry for Days because I got to play with him. Obviously, Callum, we both got to play with him when we were on Edgelords. Like, I have huge respect for Days, Knife Flicks, but it's a team of absentees. Like it's just there's no one there needed if there is a game, and when there is a game, as you said, it feels like it's going into a solo queue game and everyone just disconnected.
Yeah, it's oh yeah, we'll run the rest of Hog because that's good, and then they'll roll out, and then a well coordinated team will just stomp them. They'll be like,
Yeah.
oh well, they won this time.
Yeah.
Go next. Like,
I mean, so over the course of this past week, the team went under new management here. They picked up a few players. They're back to hopefully being a full roster of active players. We'll see.
I'd like to see them do well.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to
I'd
see
like to
them
see
come out
them
and
be
do
competitive.
I'd like to see him
I'm-
play, like definitely.
Oh my god!
No,
I'm
no,
honest.
I don't mean that as a way of throwing a dig. Like, but it's obviously horrible when you have to give up maps or
Yeah.
give up a game because
Or a
it's like,
series,
oh,
yeah.
here's another loss.
And the other
Exactly.
team, remember Fuelmaker specifically being really sad. Like he was hyped up for his game, and then like it was like, oh, it's not happening, and then the guy was just like,
Yeah, it really
was very
sucks. Obviously, you don't like to see forfeits, so
No.
GG's a team that got
Tell
some
me
help
about it.
from GG's a team that got some help from the league on the league end this week, and hopefully we're gonna see them pull together here. It's only we're going into week 2. We've only played one match. Anything can happen. I'm one that feels if a team recruits well and they recruit in some good players. I mean, right now it's week 1. Even if you're in last place right now, you can obviously make a huge comeback. So it's a team I'm rooting for to try to make a
Sure.
comeback here.
let's look at it this way. I know this is completely out of our league, Overwatch League. 0-40 Shanghai Dragons go out to win stage 3.
Exactly. Anything can happen here. It's Overwatch.
Exactly.
So you never know. Um, let's move on to our last match here. This is actually one that I think is going to be closer than what you guys think is going to be. It's Darkmount versus Republic Rebels. And although Republic Rebels is obviously a lot higher in the power rankings here, this is a match that I think it's going to be pretty close. I think Darkmount coming off a forfeit, they're like you said, they're looking to play. They're really excited to play. They have a few good pieces actually. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to like a map 5 and it's like hinging on a last minute battle for a winner. I mean, this is definitely one that I wouldn't be surprised if it's a closer match than what everybody expects. But that
Yeah,
being
they got all the
said,
pieces.
yeah, good.
They got all the pieces. Like I just traded on Optimistic Mule, that tank player over to their team. They have solid DPS. Mad Dog is a very good tracer in this match. I think they could be really good at that. They have a
Yeah.
good tank line. They've got some solid supports, like Fuelmaker, if you play with the guy, is nuts. Wish I'd picked him up, to be honest. But he is absolutely insane. Like, Republic Rebels is good, but I think if they shut down certain members on their team and Dark Map pops off and actually practicing scrimmed, they could win.
Yeah, exactly. Good.
All right, I've
But-
got it blooded in here. Sorry, guys, but I've been talking to people on Dark Mount and people who have been in their server, and half the time, like in the very first match, I don't know who decided to book the match against UG with them, but they didn't even ask their team if they could make that time before announcing that match. And I've heard that they've had times where they've just not told players about scrims. I know that happened with us. So I don't like. I'm not trying to push anything. I think they got good management like a Seeger and Mad Dog, but at the same time, from what I've been hearing about them, they're not being provided with an environment for their players to succeed, and that's made a lot of players just want to leave their team because you basically from their draft roster, the roster they have now, it's almost completely different.
Yeah.
And I feel like in 2i we know for sure they have a good, secure environment for their players, and they stop getting masters to fill in for their scrims. Until they have that foundation, I don't feel comfortable putting Darkmount beating a team I would put in the mid tier or higher. I think I'll go do well against some lower tier teams because of the talent they. But like I said, until they got that foundation, I'm just not comfortable like actually thinking about.
Yeah, Darkmount's a team
But-
that's kind of at the bottom of power rankings here, and it'd be cool to see them. Like, we haven't really seen them play, obviously, and I I still think that it's a team that could start rising up the rankings. What do you got to say, Lucky?
We've mentioned a few things saying that, like, yes, don't get me wrong. Mad Dog I played against him once, and goddamn, I hate his tracer so much. But we mentioned it last week, and Xenon mentioned it. They have some very hot, fiery personalities in this team. You
Yeah.
trigger one of them, and all of them are triggered.
Yeah.
Next thing, they could trigger everyone, and next thing, that team is plummeting. That's the one thing that's going to be Darkmount's weakness. And I think that will decide what their season's going to be like. Yes, they can pop off. They've a really good team. Obviously, we didn't get to see any of that in week 1. But I'm a little skeptical of their team, and that's the reason why I have them down that low, is because I don't think it could go well, but I don't think it will.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. This game will definitely show us a little bit of what they've got, and it'll give us a little bit better of an idea of what we're going to see from them this season. So yeah, that kind of wraps up week 2 there. There's no other matches. Nope, we didn't miss anything. So that's week 2. That's our preview there. Honestly, that's about all I've got for this week. Anything you guys want to add here?
Do you remember last week when we made predictions and almost every team we predicted to win lost? I wanted to remind you guys of that.
It wasn't that bad. No, we predicted
How many
last
did we
week.
actually get right?
All right, so let's look at
I mean,
it
you
here.
fucked us up, Cloudy. So
I got Aftermath. I also picked Eclipsed.
Thank you.
I picked Glass and Foot. I picked Republic Rebels, and I picked Darkmount. I think my record's looking pretty good.
Okay,
right now.
Cloudy's
I-
got it on the button.
Wait, Cloudy predicted.
Oh
me
wait,
to
no, I got one right. I got one right.
Yes.
Uh,
Wait, there are 6 games.
no,
we're
I got 2
celebrating
right.
Getting one right. Do you understand like statistics? Like a random bot, clicking random buttons.
Wait, I got 3 right.
You.
I got 3 right.
Here's-
I got the score lines wrong, but I got 3 right.
here's what I reckon we do here. I'd like to do
Shit.
this. I want to do this
Fine.
going forward on future episodes here. Let's tally up our wins and losses and give ourselves points and do some standings here.
All right, let's
I'd
let's
like to do that.
two tallies if you get the score line right.
Yes.
1 tally if you get the victor right.
Let's do
Don't
it.
let
And by the
Callum
end
add
of
them
the
up.
season,
I'm gonna
no,
put
let
it
Callum
together.
add them up.
I got 3 right.
I will
Okay,
put that together for sure, and we will do that for next week. That will be a lot of fun.
Even though
Oh,
Stucky's
hell.
cheating when his prediction is a close game. Oh yeah, it was pretty close, lads. Get that one right.
I'll edit that. I'll edit that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that kind of wraps up this week. Anything else here, guys?
No, thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man.
It'll be good.
Anything else?
I vote next week we get clean poopy.
Twitch.tv/jcolly.
No,
For anyone
guys,
who's-
can we please stick to the list? All right, because I've had so many people like DM and ask me,
Oh
"Hey,
my
can I
God.
get on the podcast as a guest, please?"
I mean, I
every
made a
time
meme
I'm just saying,
and it
go to
worked.
Cloudy, man. Go to Cloudy because he has a list. Once you're like at the top of the list, he'll DM you.
Give me,
So,
put it in
if
my
you-
DMs, DM me, and we'll talk. We'll talk.
Just make him a
Slip
Minecraft meme.
$50
yeah.
in the DM. That might help your case.
Just on a league
Prediction Mana to
level,
win every game.
real quick before we end here, just on a league level, if anybody's still listening, thank you. I know it's hard to get this far. But no, I'm working with Lucky on getting some merch out there. Hopefully over the course of the next week or so, we'll be able to get that
Oh
out there.
God,
So
no
that-
pressure, no pressure, no pressure.
over the next week or two, we'll be working on that and get that out there. I think everybody's really excited about that. I got some good feedback there, so it's coming. Don't worry. And yeah, website's up. New things are up. We got a website where we track all the matches and everything. Posted that. Everything's here. So yeah, season 3 is
Oh, that's-
looking good so far.
Give a shout out to Tro's new Facebook. I'm pretty sure she was
Yes.
asking
Yes.
to talk about that. But
Yeah,
she had
that's
to
super
turn it
cool.
down.
Yeah, I follow it. Trill's been doing a great job there, posting
There's a lot
some
of content.
highlights from matches, and yeah, definitely. So if you are interested, like the Facebook page, and there's definitely a lot of good content there. She's been doing some great work there. So yeah, that's all I got. Anything else here, guys?
Nah, good. I'm good.
All right.
Spell it.
Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.
Bye.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I'm tired. I want to go to bed.
You know, I'm kidding.